Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the VIP Home Podcast. Thanks for being with us today. So, today we're going to be talking about electric vehicle chargers in the home.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been part of the DOE.
Sure. So I have been, I'm a program manager within the Vehicle Technologies Office of Department of Energy. I've been there for almost 8 years now. And VTO is working to accelerate the development of clean transportation solutions. And we do that by investing in research across all different areas to improve mobility and reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Amazing. So let's talk about electric vehicle chargers at the home. What's the most important thing that homeowners need to know about charging an electric vehicle at their home?
So I think the most important thing to know is that most, if not all, electric vehicles will come with a level 1 charging cord, which plugs directly into a normal outlet, and no additional charging equipment is required to charge your vehicle at home. It's just like charging your phone.
Okay, so can homeowners use, as you said, just a normal outlet to charge it, or do they need like a 240-volt outlet? What does that what does that look like?
Yep. So the normal outlet on your wall, the 124-volt outlet, is for level 1 charging. And so that will get you about 5 miles of range per hour of charging. So for example, if you charge for 8 hours overnight, that would be about 40 miles of electric range for a standard midsize EV. If you want to get more charging in during that time, you could use what they call level 2 charging, which uses a 240-volt circuit. That does require some additional upgrades to install that charging system, and that would get you approximately 25 miles of range per hour of charging.
That's a big difference.
It is.
So do you find that most people, go ahead and install that in their house, or do you find people just using a regular outlet and then just
It's really personal preference and how the person intends to use their vehicle. So some people are surprised to find that the average vehicle miles traveled per day is actually fairly low. To go to work, to the grocery store, drop the kids off at school is probably going to be less than 40 miles a day. And so you could recharge that very easily overnight with your just level 1 120-volt outlet. If you intend to go on longer trips and you want to make sure that you can recoup that charge at home or maximize your charging speed, then the level 2 is going to be the better option.
Okay, so are there different types of chargers? We're talking about, different levels, but are there specific different chargers for different cars, or is it across the board the same one?
You can buy different level 2 chargers to have installed on your 240-volt circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And those can work for most vehicles. They do have standard outlets that will plug into the vehicle for most of them. Tesla vehicles do require a unique connector, and so there's an available adapter that you can use to adapt to the charging equipment.
So do you know what the monthly cost for charging an electric vehicle at home, what that range looks like?
So it depends on the electricity costs of where you're located. One of the nice things about charging at home is that you take advantage of lower residential electric rates. And those rates can range from, gosh, I don't know exactly what the range is. I think the average is around 16 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay.
And the amount of, so if you're charging, oh boy, I have to do some quick math then. It comes out to something around like maybe $15 for a full charge is what I recommend. So it's considerably less expensive than refilling your fuel tank.
I mean, wow, that's crazy. So is it more expensive to charge with an L1 charger versus an L2, or is it just the same?
It's the same. The only difference is the speed at which the charge happens.
Okay.
And of course, there are some, the charger, the level 2 charger itself has an upfront cost, and then the installation of that would have a cost as well. It is recommended to use a licensed electrician to install that charger in your 240 volt system.
Okay.
Most homes already have 240 volt service because that's what's used for dryers and electric stoves.
Okay.
But to make sure that you have that type of outlet where you want it, where you're parking your car, you might need an electrician for that.
And then does that outlet need to be a GFCI outlet or not?
So the level 1 chargers do require the 3-prong outlet. The level 2, there are different types of outlets, prong configurations that you can get. So you do need to make sure that the outlet that you install matches the charger that you purchase. But those all have safety, the appropriate safety ratings on them. And the electrician can help
Do that. So we shouldn't try that ourselves.
correct.
What are some features that an electric vehicle owner or homeowner should know when they look for when choosing their charger for a home?
So again, if you're choosing level 1 versus level 2, it's a question kind of how much you're going to drive per day, how your schedule might affect your ability to charge at certain times. If you're looking at the differences between the level 2 chargers, some of them will sit on a pedestal, some will attach to the wall. They all have standard safety features and some sort of status light usually. Some of the more advanced products might have features like data collection or user interfaces with displays and charging timers and communications capabilities, all sorts of bells and whistles.
Fancy. Yes. Yes. So should these be inside the garage or outside of the garage, or does it not matter?
So it's safe to install indoors and outdoors.
Okay.
Residential equipment is usually installed in garages just because that's where people tend
People
to
park.
if they have one.
Right.
But if you're going to do an outdoor installation, really it just needs to think about where you want to park relative to the outlet. You want it to be easy to plug in. You don't want to trip over the cord.
Okay. And then should these chargers be UL tested or have an Energy Star certification?
They should be UL certified, and I think all charging equipment that's sold in the US is.
Okay.
So the Energy Star certification certainly would be a benefit, but it isn't required.
Okay, perfect. So what does a homeowner need to know when installing the charger in their home? Like you had said, you need to have an electrician do it. You shouldn't do it yourself. Is there also maybe somebody, I would say from the car manufacturing company that they would have a specific electrician, or can you just call the one that comes to your house to maybe fix something?
So you might want to ask the dealer if they have any electricians that they work with specifically for EV charger installation. Manufacturers and dealerships are starting to get more involved with that, so they'll likely have some suggestions or recommendations for you to consider. It's possible some of them might even offer charger installation as an incentive to purchase an EV. So never
That's
hurts.
a nice incentive. Okay. So let's see. Are there regulations that homeowners need to know when installing an EV charger at their home? Like, do they need a permit or anything?
So it's possible that permits might be required from the local building and permitting authorities, depending on where you are installing that. And you can learn more about some of the codes and standards for the location that you're in on the Alternative Fuels Data Center, which is afdc.energy.gov. So we do have some of that information available for folks to look into.
Okay. And replacing an electric vehicle charger can be pretty costly, or is it not? Like, is there maintenance that homeowners need to do? And how do they keep it, working properly and have that longevity?
So it's pretty minimal maintenance overall. It mainly includes storing the charging cables securely, kind of checking the parts periodically, making sure that nothing, you haven't run it over with a lawnmower or something like that, right?
Right.
Keeping the equipment clean, wiping it down if you see it that's fallen in the mud and gotten dirty, anything like that.
Right. Okay, perfect. So are there any safety tips that homeowners should follow when charging their vehicle at home?
If there's any reason why it's not safe to charge, the EV and the charger will not allow that charging session to start. So that's part of the standard safety, features that are built in.
Okay.
But some of the questions that we've gotten before, charging the vehicle in the rain is just as safe as charging it, when it's dry out. It doesn't matter, kind of in what orientation the car is or whether it's a flat surface or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of those things that would make it unsafe, if to charge a vehicle? Like, why would if the connection is bad, if there's something wrong with the outlet, would it just not work then?
So I don't know specifically, but I assume that would be mostly related to some sort of damage to the cord or anything that would cause a short in the electrical circuit.
Okay. And then is it best then to reach out to the dealership? Who do they contact then if all of a sudden your car is not charging?
That's a great question. So I think that the first step is to do just a little bit of troubleshooting. I think that, the level 2 charger, assuming that we're talking about level 2 charging here, a lot of those chargers will have, displays or indicator lights that will give you some indication of where the error is, whether it's on the vehicle or on the charger side. And then depending on what you find out from there, you can either reach out to the charger, who you bought the charger from, to get either a repair or replacement of that equipment, or reach out to the dealer for any sort of vehicle issue.
And do you know the replacement cost as a whole?
I don't know. And I assume that varies significantly based on how many bells and whistles you want to.
Right. Exactly. And then is there a warranty that comes with any of these chargers that you know of?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I haven't ever purchased one, but I'm sure that's
Either.
in the package. Yeah.
Right. So is there anything that we haven't discussed that you feel our members should know about electric vehicle chargers and the home?
I guess one thing to just kind of reemphasize is this can seem like a lot of information to folks who are unfamiliar with EVs. The idea of plugging in your car is a little bit new.
Yeah.
But I think that once you make the switch to an EV and get the home charging set up, it'll really quickly become normal, just like plugging your phone in before bed. You won't spend any more time thinking about it than anything else.
This is super interesting. Thank you so much for coming on today. We so appreciate it. And we'd love to have you back sometime in the near future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah. Have a great day.